Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and if you are as tired as I am of all of these hacking announcements, crypto hacks and all of this, then you might want to do what I've done and get your XRP or your crypto into free institutional custody through Fireblocks. On one of my partners is one of the places I've got it, Caleb and Brown. These guys have, fail safes in place to prevent crypto hacks and all of that. And by the way, I'm going to be interviewing Jim from Caleb and Brown tomorrow night, so I probably won't show any of it till Wednesday. But if you have any questions, you can send me a DM or you can email me. My email address is in the description of all my YouTube videos if you want to email me any questions you might have. If you're interested in having institutional custody, if you're interested in having an actual broker that you can either talk to on the phone or email and put orders through or anything like that, and get guidance from, these guys are the ones to do it. And you actually also have institutional grade liquidity when the time comes. Go to xrpwealth589.com and it'll forward you right to my page here on Caleb and Brown, and you can hit sign up today. We've got a $3, let's see what the market has just gotten back up to $4 trillion, folks. That's the number to be watching, because that 4 trillion, in my opinion, is going to become 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 100 trillion and beyond. It's just a matter of time, folks. XRP is trending, by the way. It should be trending. XRP was liberated last week, and today Trump announced that he's liberating Washington, D.C. It's right there, trying to clean up the streets of D.C. XRP is currently retesting the upper resistance line of the flag as support. If this holds $4, XRP is next stop. You got to see this, folks. We're watching Bitcoin Maxi after Bitcoin Maxi, and it's finally starting to dawn on them that Ripple has been playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. Checkmate. Checkmate. XRP checkmate.
So Ripple
all these guys, when they talk, they focus on RLUSD, and the whole narrative is that somehow XRP failed and all this, and that's not the focus. That's pure silliness, folks. Don't forget, XRP's brand is burned on every single transaction of RLUSD and any other token that's built on the XRP ledger. So lock in. These guys don't totally get it yet, but they're starting to.
Acquired a company called RailPay for $200 million. So Rail was one of the largest players in stablecoin for cross-border in business-to-business payments. I think they say that there's more than $3.6 billion of B2B payments moving through their pipes annually and growing very, very rapidly. It seems like B2B is this major theme in stablecoins. The Artemis report from a couple of months ago talked about B2B as being one of the fastest growing sort of cross-border payment types. So people see stablecoins, they assume consumer, but Kai, I'm interested in your perspectives here. B2B has always been a bit of a difficult one. Is this more in the SWIFT territory than in the consumer territory? And what are your reactions to this announcement?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind with this announcement is it seems like there's this broader trend of the convergence of stablecoin issuance and orchestration, where we've seen Circle started as a stablecoin issuer with USDC. Now they have the Circle payment network, and so they're getting more into orchestration. Bridge started as an orchestration provider. Now there's USDB. Bridge is starting to issue stablecoins. Ripple, you could argue, started in a way orchestration, but with XRP trying to get that adopted as a bridge currency. I'd argue that it hasn't really seen much adoption there. Then they moved on to stablecoin issuance. Now you have RLUSD. And then now they're going into orchestration specifically with stablecoins. And so it feels like there will be more companies that do both issuance and orchestration. And I think the question becomes like, which is it the value is being the issuer and orchestration is just how you try and drive more adoption of the stablecoin that you issue? Or is it the value is orchestration and issuance is kind of one piece that helps you better monetize your, like how these two fit together, I think is going to be a really interesting question. And then what does it mean for the neutrality of, if you're going and trying to decide which orchestration provider to buy from, are you making a decision of what if you want an orchestration provider, but you want to use another stablecoin that is issued by a third party? Are they going to be steering you towards their stablecoin? Are there going to be economic incentives if you use their stablecoin inside their orchestration platform? So I think that's the big thing to look for of how orchestration and issuance plays together, what the economic models are between them, and so I think it's a very logical approach from Ripple as part of their strategy to scale RLUSD, and Rail is clearly kind of one of the orchestration providers that is in the mix there. But
okay, now before you watch this clip, this is the co-founder of Wormhole, the Ripple partner, Robinson Berkey. And what's the narrative been for all these years? Oh, nobody builds on the XRP ledger. While Bitcoin and Ethereum were given a regulatory free pass and XRP was held up through regulatory capture, of course it would limit the amount of building on the XRP ledger, which was probably the bad guys' plan all along. But guess what? XRP's free now. Things are about to change. He calls it the Ripple Renaissance, and he says the sky is really the limit. Listen here.
And then when it comes to your partnership or the XRP integration, I'm curious if you could expand a bit more on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we've been working on something with Ripple for a long time, and we wanted to be a little bit more holistic. Obviously, Ripple's working on a lot of different things. I think the things that's really interesting to us is RLUSD, right? So Wormhole is successful if the assets that use Wormhole or apps that use Wormhole are successful. So we're kind of in the background in that sense. So just like taking a quick step back, Pyth, for instance, every price feed that's sent over Pyth uses Wormhole. So if Pyth's successful, that only helps Wormhole because the entire protocol is built on Wormhole. And same with assets. If these assets are successful and do a lot of volume, Wormhole's successful. So that's why it's great that we work with all these institutions, but stablecoins are important as well. And so we're looking at RLUSD from Ripple as probably one of the only, at least right now, stablecoins out there that has the chance of challenging the incumbents. What do I mean by that? USDC, USDT, obviously stablecoins benefit from network effects. They're really, really hard to beat over time because they just become bigger and bigger and bigger, have more integrations. That's our hope for Wormhole too, and we're starting to see that. But Ripple has enough resources to challenge that moat. And so when I think about some of the things that we were excited when kind of thinking this partnership with Ripple is, number one is RLUSD is very interesting, just because I think it has that opportunity to kind of chip away at that moat and be kind of one of the main USD stablecoins for crypto. The other is obviously XRPL and the EVM sidechain. So Ripple's interesting because I think in the past, if we're being a little bit honest, they've gotten a lot of flack for just and I'm a big fan. So XRP Army, please hold any.
You have to disclaim before mentioning any sort of throwing any shade in the army, even if it's constructive.
Exactly. It's largely there hasn't been as much technical adoption as maybe like in Ethereum. That's what I'll say in the past. However, I do think that's changing, and I think they have the recipe for everything to be successful. Here's the reason why, though. XRPL, if you're an infrastructure provider, asset issuer, app builder in crypto, if you are not SVM, EVM, and now Move, I would say, it is very hard to build on a net new ecosystem. Like there's really was no before their EVM sidechain, like easy, well-known, well-adopted, like kind of virtual machine way to build right on XRPL. And so that prevented a lot of builders on XRPL for quite some time. However, I think that enough time has gone by, they have enough Lindy effect that people are starting to integrate into XRPL and figure it out, and they're doing a lot of builder programs to help with this. And then also now they have, of course, the EVM sidechain with those being interoperable too. But I think that we're starting to see a shift in XRPL is what I'm saying. And so I kind of see this as like Ripple's renaissance from like a on-chain adoption standpoint, not the actual token, because the tokens had such good adoption. They have so much resources that people are starting to connect to XRPL. And once that ecosystem is connected and builders feel more comfortable building on it, I think sky is really the limit there. And so we're excited to be building. We're connecting to the XRPL. We're connecting to EVM sidechain. We're working with some of their assets as well. So we're going to help make Ripple just more connected to everything on chain, and that work is ongoing. And so we're really excited about it. I think that again they've got a lot of resources to be successful. Obviously, the purchase of Hidden Road and the tokenization platform were kind of key to a lot of that stuff when it comes to tokenization too. So again, I'll say I think it is it's Ripple's renaissance moment right now. I think their tech is kind of opening up to everything else on crypto, and that is a net positive in my opinion. Some people would say we don't need the tech to be open, but it's kind of like the free trade argument. It benefits to have everything be more open, and also they're just getting more adoption for people building on it, not necessarily connecting and taking volume away. I think volume is going to flow in, not the other way around.
Yeah, it's crazy. The stablecoin race is really heating up. And I think given Ripple itself, the company, and they applied for banking charter as well. So I think that could potentially happen on the regulatory side. Genius Act. So it's really exciting to see. And also the additional use cases they've added to the XRPL via the XRP EVM sidechain. So that's a really exciting ecosystem. We've covered it.
You're darn right. Look at this. Just in, President Trump says tariffs are making the U.S. strong and rich. Dom from EZA says crypto will make us rich. XRP rich. Tangent's weekly heavy hitters. XRP at the top. You won't see this on CNBC. The most swapped coins this week, in and out, where the volume flows, the market knows. Swap yours with full self-custody on the Tangent app. And then there's this, folks. This is where this is going. I've told you this for a long time. This is one of the head of digital asset research from Van Eck. This is what they're going to do. I've said it for 7 years. When Wall Street comes in, you're going to have the same thing. It's going to mirror the stock market in the way that they market it, the way they do it. You're going to have blue chip digital assets with XRP being at the top. You're going to have the equivalent of an S&P 500. It may be more like an S&P 30 in my opinion, but it could be 30 to 50 is what I'm guessing. Ultimately, the utility digital assets will rise. They will be in there. Bitcoin will have a hard time keeping up once utility kicks in. XRP will jump Bitcoin in the end. I still believe that. But anyway, that'll be the flippening. Joe Lubin calls it, he says Ethereum will be the flippening of Bitcoin. I think he's wrong. So lock in. Okay, we're going to go into the group. Got more to cover. DAIXRP.com, the Patreon. If you'd rather go join through YouTube, click the join button below any of these YouTube videos, or you can hit subscribe on X. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family, away we go.